All right. Well, let's see if this works. Live at DL Cast. This thing is always being a punk to me, and I don't get it lately. I'm gonna take these off. I want to take these off, but I'm not gonna. We're in the laundry room. This thing seems to be giving me tons of fits, and you can hear me now. All right.
All
What
right.
we do
Yeah,
have is
looks like it's going.
we got Cody calling in from satellite from the old bachelor pad.
Down here in the Tri-Cities, that's right. So should I just start that over again?
No, but here's a picture of the Statue of Liberty, guys. We had technical difficulties, and my headphones are really making quite a noise in my head right now. No matter what I do, Cody. So we're gonna get to this.
Okay. So, anyways, talking about the Statue of Liberty and the inauguration speech. So, the gentleman whose speech spawned a meme on Facebook ended up being a man named Chauncey Depew, who was a politician out of the city of Chicago, I believe. He was one of many people that spoke that day, and this is a little blurb from what he said, and the last statement is where that meme from Facebook came. So, and I think I sent that to you. But anyways, uh, Chauncey Depew, this is what he said. When Benjamin Franklin drew the lightning from the clouds, he little dreamed that in the evolution of science, his discovery would illuminate the torch of liberty for France and America. The rays from this beacon, lighting this gateway to the continent, will welcome the poor and the persecuted with the hope and promises of homes and citizenship. It will teach them that there is room and brotherhood for all who support our institutions and aid in our development, but that those who come to disturb our peace and dethrone our laws are aliens and enemies forever. So something super interesting about this is that you and I were discussing this earlier today, and as you know, as everybody knows, America has always had our relationship, I guess, with France, whether it was good or on the rocks at any given point. But we've always had some sort of relationship that we've maintained. And so it was interesting that we were talking about this Statue of Liberty in France today. And then, as it turns out, there ends up being today, there was an attack on Notre Dame.
I'm not,
Coincidence?
I'm not quite sure
Perhaps.
if it was an attack. I can't. It's a little early to say, but we were
Oh,
taking bets. We were taking bets on what had happened today.
well,
Here's a few
I guess I
pictures.
just,
This thing was on fire to 10,000 degrees plus. I bet this thing was really smoking. We can only speculate what caused the fire at this current time. I did hear something about possibly two different fires started at two different times. I heard that from a French guy that was being interviewed over there. And I also have to throw out to all my conspiracy theories right here. You can read the headline yourself.
what's it say in case you're
It,
watching on the phone and
oh,
can't see
in
it?
case you're listening to me on the phone, cell of French women guided by ISIS behind fatal Notre Dame attack. Note that this was 2 years ago, okay? But they did put claim to that 2 years ago. So, for all the conspiracy theories, is that this could be going down right now. I mean, no one has no one has taken a side or said that they did it or did not do it. So there's two ways to think of this. Is that maybe this was just a tragic accident because they are doing work on the building.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to do some reconstruction.
Right.
There was scaffolding. You can see here's a photo, giant scaffolding up, and
So before I just jump in and I say that it was an attack, I guess I should preface that by saying we are just going to be stating, for all intents and purposes of this conversation, that it was. However, they were doing construction, and it has been caught on fire before. However, it's survived multiple times of being on fire. But there was, I heard that there was an 895-year-old tower that had collapsed because of the fire.
Yes, I got a photo of it right now, currently up. You can also see the very extensive scaffolding they have. They were doing some serious remodel. We'll see. All right. Yeah, so the towers were a bad thing. I got audio again. I seem to be losing audio, picking audio up, losing audio. It's a tragic thing here in the old laundry room. I'm telling you. Cody, you still on the line?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, good. I didn't lose you. So I guess we lost audio around. We were talking about it, and then we were talking about some interesting memes that we're coming across. You guys can fill in the blanks with those. It's tough to go back live audio, but it is what it is. So look up some interesting memes. We've gone over the conspiracy theories. It could be what? What was your conspiracy theory, Cody?
uh, it was it was
It,
mostly
it was
having
electrical
to,
fire
having to do with, yes, it was an electrical fire.
because of
So
the because of all the construction that was going on.
could be.
Okay.
Yes.
Shout out to Steve Simpson. Thank you, buddy, for hitting us up. I believe Felicia said something too, so cool. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Uh, like 1776 was a very big time in life, by the way, Cody. Not a little flashback. You could buy those 1976 shirts. They're out there. That was the year of our independence from Great Britain.
Correct. That was the year that we declared it.
Yeah, so that's where you get 4th of July from. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
1776, where we broke away. All right, on to the next one. I'm going to hit up. Look at this. Look at what I found. Look at what I found.
What did you find? What do you got?
I found the UN is helping out migrant workers, paying for them to come to the United States. It's right here. Just look it up. You can look it up yourself. UN helping migrant workers, migrant caravans. Sorry. Yeah.
From where?
The UN. The UN is cutting these people's checks to come up here from Southern or Central America. So what they're doing is helping these people.
The UN, which we as a nation are supporting.
Yes, we do support them, and obviously we support the caravan. So I really have a good idea why they're not putting up this border wall right now. I'm kind of irritated.
It's definitely a stronghold by both parties not willing to come to terms that there's a serious issue. And I believe you had an article that was written by a mostly left-sided paper that that stated something of there's an issue now.
Oh yeah. Speaking of that, okay, so there was the migrant workers. You guys seen that? Here's what I remember. Remember when the Democrats were like, "Don't build that wall." Trump's like, "Build that wall. Build that wall." Democrats were like, "Don't build the wall. We don't have a crisis at the border." 3 days ago, they changed their tone. 3 days ago, after months of claiming that there was no crisis at the American border, New York Times says there's a border crisis, and it says right up here, right in the blue words, it said it's Trump's fault. Right there. Democrats are now blaming the migrant caravans. It's Trump's fault. That's New York Times, baby. That's why you don't go to New York Times and read your shit.
That's big media for you.
Yeah. There's not a big problem. That's another quote right there.
You should have had one from 3 months ago stating that there is no problem with illegal immigration into the United States, and then 3 months later, them claiming that there's a massive issue. It's just, I mean, that is one of the most bizarre things.
Yeah, right here. Democrats struggle to address rising border wall crisis. And then up here at the top, it says, now they're blaming it's Trump's fault. I say put that wall up, God damn it, and quit supporting the UN if that's who we're paying these people to. We're literally paying the UN to get thousands of people up here. Look at all these people. Look at giant caravans. You know these people have to eat, drink, pee, and poo?
Yeah.
Coming to your town right now. Coming to your town. Yep. That's your town.
With no work visa, nothing. They're just flooding the United States right now. So here's one thing, like refugees from countries in the Middle East that their country is under attack and they're being persecuted personally for their religion and being slaughtered by the dozens. Okay, that's one thing. I still don't, in my personal opinion, I
Jesus
don't.
Christ! Hold on. Yeah, it's a fucking problem. I fucking hit the wrong goddamn button too. Now go back. God damn it. Look at this. Look at what I found. They're burning the American flag.
Who is?
Well, the migrants. This is what I got. They're burning the American flag as they're fucking coming here. There couldn't be more disgrace.
Okay, well, I mean that goes along with what I'm talking about. Like, if you're a true refugee and you are being killed for your beliefs, and then you want to escape that, then you need to take the necessary avenues for finding citizenship elsewhere, or a work visa elsewhere, or you can't just expect to just be able to just come into our country and us to just accept you with open arms without you being vetted or going through the proper avenues of obtaining citizenship. That's extremely frustrating to me. That we'll just like I can't remember when there was that giant population of Muslims that were trying to escape persecution, refugees, and Germany said that they would take on, I don't remember how many, like 800,000 or something crazy like that. And then the U.S. was like, all the Democrats said, yeah, we'll take them on, sure, bring them on, without even vetting them and making sure that they're peaceful human beings, or they don't have records.
Or they have a similar ideology.
Yeah. But that goes back to that statement made by Chauncey Depew about essentially, if you're not with us, you are against us. If you're willing to move here and peacefully accept our ways of life, you're more than welcome. We'll give you citizenship and a home. We don't have a problem with that. But those that are against that, against our views of life, you are, what do they say, aliens and enemies forever. And I feel like, I mean, if the people keep on pushing this diversity thing, and don't get me wrong, diversity is good to a certain extent.
Yeah. I mean, you went on a little tangent on me, buddy. You went on a little tangent on me.
Yeah, you brought it up.
You're all right. You're all right. Nancy Pelosi's the one that's blaming it on Trump. So we all know that she's full of bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get something a little bit closer to home.
Yeah. So last weekend, I went to Seattle and did a Spartan race, and I didn't know until I got back and was telling people today about my experience. They asked me how was Seattle. Was it just an absolute shithole? And tell me about all of this horrible things that are happening there. And in all honesty, I didn't see any of what they're talking about. There's an hour special called Seattle is Dying, if I remember right. It's a documentary done by a news broadcast, which, I mean, let's be honest, the news broadcasts are typically one-sided. There was something that I heard earlier today. I think it was on InfoWars talking about how it was a different deal that I was watching. But anyways, they were talking about how news is supposed to be done objectively and accurately. And I think the news channels have lost that. But anyways, Seattle has been labeled as, oh yeah, you're pulling it up. So Seattle is, there's a huge homeless population there. And they're just setting up tents wherever they well please and doing what they want. And apparently the police are being told to stand down and not even make arrests on anybody who is a homeless person because they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I just brought up that they it's just a horrible problem. The police got their hands tied. It's horrible. Foot chase, you name it. I'm pulling some stuff up right now.
For for every while you're pulling that up, for every this is a stat that I heard today. I don't know how accurate it is because I didn't have time to research it. But for every 100 arrests, there was something like only 18 would be prosecuted, which and the rest were let off or let go.
So,
Um,
okay. Hey, what do you think's going to happen to those migrants? You see this little scene I have in the background here. We got about, I don't know, I'd say about 12 tents. I assume that that's going to double, if not triple.
yeah, why would we? I don't understand why we would support something like that. Because if we can't take care of the homeless people that are here in our own country, why would we take on more people that aren't our people?
Yeah, it boggles me to even think of any of that. Look at all that.
Now
Needles,
there's
needles, you name it.
yeah, I mean, and that's the huge problem is that there's that opioid epidemic that's going on. Uh, since I mean, since Kurt Cobain and the '90s, there's well probably before that, but I mean that's what kind of brought it to the forefront was a huge superstar like Kurt Cobain came out and was publicly addicted to heroin, and that's since then it's like the city of Seattle hasn't really done anything to benefit themselves. So bums are flocking there because they can live for free. They could probably get some sort of state benefit. And then in the meantime, if they commit a crime like break into a car or break into a home even, and steal or a business and steal things and go sell them for their drugs, they won't even be prosecuted.
Yeah, they let them out next day. Where do you
Right,
think
and
they
then
Where do you think they get all that money from? They're out there panhandling.
panhandling or stealing. I mean, let's be honest. If they can't get it by somebody handing them uh, money, then they're going to go find it because they have an addiction, and that's something else that's to be challenged. Is these people who have okay? So I learned this from a person who is a doctor, and I didn't know this, but people who are addicted to drugs have a different neurological makeup than the rest of people, um, and they um, just physically cannot. Once if they just try a drug one time and they're hooked, it's over. So somebody else told me that like on the East Coast, what they're starting to do is they came up with a drug that is similar to what they give alcoholics when an alcoholic takes this and then they drink, it physically makes them throw up. Their body rejects the alcohol that they're trying to consume. So this other drug that these people are giving people on the East Coast, if they take any of these opioids, they're physically still from it. So it discourages them from doing that.
So, what are you suggesting that they go around and hand out a ton of drugs to these people?
Well, that's the problem is even if there is a drug that has gives you that kind of reaction, what kind of addict is going to take something that makes them ill if they take the drug that they want to take? Like it has to be.
That
It has
sounds
to be.
absolutely crazy.
I know it does, and that's. I'm not suggesting that at all. I thought it was that somebody had come up with that as the answer, and that's not the answer at all.
What's the answer?
I'm not going to say a Hitler view of genocide necessarily.
To the wood chipper.
But maybe if you're 30 years old and you've been convicted of of 8 different crimes and you cannot pass a piss test for more than a week, I think perhaps there's not much that you're going to contribute to society. So maybe like forced labor.
Forced labor. Is that what you
Like
come up with? That's what you came up with? Forced labor?
I'm I'm talking in chains pouring hot asphalt on rooftops
You mean
until
teaching them a skill?
I don't know if that's teaching them a skill, but that's making them not want to ever do what they got put in jail for, or these people aren't even being put in jail. That's what I mean. Like if you put somebody in jail, you have to then feed, water, and then give them a place to stay. So
So,
why don't we start making those people justify their existence by contributing to society in some sort of way?
I like the wood chipper.
That
Just saying, if you're a menace to society, I'm pretty sure there's some Mexicans coming up that would be a very hard worker. So,
yeah.
you want to play devil's advocate?
Are you talking an illegal immigrant? Is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about the ones that if they make it to Washington State,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? If they make it to Washington State, they're probably not bootlegging cocaine off the border, okay? I'm just hypothetically speaking. I have a lot in this town. You have a lot in your town. Yeah, they work pretty fucking hard, don't they?
They certainly do. For
Why
the
don't you
most part.
find that fucking old white guy that's carrying all your shit down the road and see how well he does?
Well, the problem with
Wood
that
chipper. One
is not
wood chipper.
the immigrants that come here, because they are generally hardworking people. It tends to be um, and it's just, I don't have the statistics, so I'm probably going to get a bunch of shit for this, but it tends to be people who are in the second generation or in the third generation that feel entitled, that end up going onto some sort of governmental assistance and then end up causing problems. Did you know that growing up, people growing up, men in general, they're 15 years old when they have that spike of testosterone. They start from the age of 15 to 27 on average, is when the most crime is committed by a man in general, statistically. So at the age of 27, if he has made it that far without committing a crime, chances are he's probably not going to commit a crime. And those that do commit crimes in between that time frame, by the time they're 27, generally quit doing that, whether it's because they learned their lesson or because they're just done with being a menace to society. They want to, they have a family and they need to feed them, or whatever it is. That's just what statistics say.
I've made it a long time in this life, and I haven't done anything that stupid. So,
And
nor
and
will
been
I.
caught.
Well, nor will I. I mean, I'm not quite a menace to society, even when I was a young kid.
Yeah.
So maybe they get brought up with some morals, they'll be all right.
I think that's where we have, as a famous psychologist has put it as of late, that everybody wants to talk about our rights and our freedoms, but nobody wants to talk about our responsibilities.
Yeah.
And the responsibilities is way more important than your rights and freedoms. because without your responsibilities, you can't have those rights and freedoms. And that's what people forget.
People forget a lot of things, man. People forget a lot of things.
And with that, but on the flip side of that responsibility, it's not all just like negativity from oh, I have these responsibilities. You get a sense of worth. You get a sense of value. It's just like after a long hard day at work, you come home and you feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah, I don't know. Check out what I just found. YouTube mistakes tags Notre Dame fire videos as 9/11 conspiracies. So they mistakenly put Notre Dame as a conspiracy. So if you tag it in your videos, it just pops up as their conspiracies.
Which YouTube does not allow conspiracy theories anymore.
No, so yeah.
So hope you didn't label this conspiracy.
No, I didn't. We're just having a chat. No, we're just having a chat today. Just hypothetically just shooting ideas back and forth. That's not against the law.
I think it's crazy that we were talking about the Statue of Liberty earlier today, and that I mean maybe it's just a coincidence or whatever. That's going to get from France, and then all of a sudden France is having this.
Yeah, it's like I could see the future.
Maybe it's you, man.
Maybe it is me. I did ask you about that, and then found out that it was on fire.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Seattle's a dump.
See, I mean, when I was downtown, obviously there's places that you don't want to go. You know what I mean? As a young, well, I can't really say that anymore, but as a full-grown adult male, I guess I don't feel too threatened wherever I go. However, there's certain places that I wouldn't walk with, say, a woman in my arms. I wouldn't walk into a dark alley in a place that I don't know.
Even if you didn't know Denver. I mean, Denver's just as much of a pile of dump as Seattle is. I mean, probably the only place that I would feel safe to cut through an alleyway would be, it's a 50-50 shot. The 300 people small town, you might get shot just because you're walking down the alley. Chicago, you might get shot by walking down an alley. So
you might get shot walking down the sidewalk in Chicago.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? You might be just fine.
And you might be just fine.
Yeah. No, but without a doubt.
I feel like I don't put myself in those positions to find out.
Okay, so just hypothetically speaking, hold on, let's see if I can find it. It's on a little delay. You won't be able to see it, Cody, but it's coming. What do you think about walking down Chicago with one of these shirts on it? Say like it's an AK-47 and it says "Come get it." Do you think you'd be all right then?
I would say, I mean, I don't know. Guess it depends on how big my chest looked that day.
oh yeah, fucking as if that would stop a bullet.
I guess if we're talking about the south side of Chicago, no, I probably wouldn't do
that. How about, hey man, I found a flak jacket.
A flak jacket?
Yeah, yeah. There's a flak jacket on here. Yeah, like $300-400.
Hey man, what are you doing? Trying to promote somebody else?
No, I'm just saying it. This is where you can get it. I was just saying, man.
I'm pretty sure you can get a flat jacket at a gun swap.
Do you think you can find a flat jacket or a flak jacket in that pile? You'll see it here
And
in
what?
a second. You'll see. You're gonna see it here in a second. You think there's a bulletproof vest in there?
I
Here,
doubt it.
here it comes, Cody.
Oh, no,
Right there.
no. They probably sold it. They stole the one and sold it for $20 on the street.
Yeah, but technically, if they don't have a job, who's to say some of that stuff isn't yours?
Uh,
You know what I mean? Who's to be like,
I
oh man, I remember that shirt right there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just don't.
And then they're like, were they in my house?
Could have been.
Oh man, that's scary. That's scary to think of. All that trash came from people with jobs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's
All,
trippy to think about.
all of those. You know what's funny about that is the power to change that has to do with the people in the city, and nobody there has the balls to stand up against these people. That is the scary part.
That's the
Like
truth.
no, like if there's power in numbers, right? And these bums have started getting such massive numbers that if the city had squashed this 10 years ago, then they wouldn't be having this issue. But so what is the answer? The answer is to start getting people in groups of tens and hundreds and thousands of people to walk down the street or the alley or wherever these people are setting up their tents and say, "You thank you for being here, but get out. You are no longer welcome.
Just get out.
I don't care where you go. Start walking."
Get out.
Yeah, I mean that's it's not I mean, I take that back because they would go east, and we don't want that.
Oh, on this side of the mountains,
Yes,
we have a bum problem in Spokane, dude.
it's not like Seattle's problem,
I bet you I could pull it up. Just give me a second.
but I would be willing to bet that if we don't, well, I say we because I used to live there, but if Spokane does not get a hold on it, it's going to end up like Seattle, and this is like full circle back to the beginning of this podcast talking about Paul Harvey's "If I Were the Devil." And everything. So that I believe that edition that we were listening to was recently, he changed it to reflect the newer age, but that was done in the '90s sometime. But I mean, still, that's pretty scary to think about that you know what I mean, like he's got it the nail right on the head.
Hey, I looked up Spokane's bum problem. The same thing. So I typed in the only word different was Spokane instead of Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Um, maybe I falsely said that we have a bum problem. I think the city of Spokane's doing a fine job with the bum problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, like, there's not really many places that they can stay. Like
Dude,
down in People's Park.
there's one right there. There's one bum and one cop. The rest of it is how fucking beautiful it is here. We got to take
Right.
this down.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to say that. Why did you say that?
We got to take this down. We can't let people know.
We're gonna have to edit that. Yeah.
Hey, I found a bum. I found a bum. It says ski bums here. There's ski bums here.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what's cool about ski bums? They actually have jobs.
Yeah, they mow yards in the summer.
Yeah. Well, and then they work as lift guys during the winter. So they are contributing to society. So they can be bums all they want because they still have jobs.
Oh, this place is crummy. I'm really trying hard to find that bum camp, and I'm coming up empty.
And they work.
Coming up empty. Oh, here, let me show. It's really cold over here. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I settled on the worst thing. 7 degrees.
Yeah, you don't want to come here. If you're a bum, you wouldn't survive. There is a lot of people that go to like the House of Charity and shit like that to sleep. Like they are always packed.
In Spokane?
So yeah.
Yeah, but that's only a few hundred people.
Yeah, well, I mean, like as soon as you start getting more than that, then people start dying. You know what I mean? And
Right.
I don't know.
All right. Well, you got anything more?
No. I think I've said my piece for the evening.
You feel better?
You've taken away enough of my pool playing time.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Cody. Thanks for calling in tonight.
Thanks for the interesting chat.
All right. DL Cast, live from the laundry room.
And live from Richland, it's Bachelor Pad.
Spaz attack.
We
Keep your
out.
powder dry. I love you all. You got anything nice to say, Cody, since you're never on here?
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Love, peace, and chicken grease at Chick-fil-A.